Alright, we're back. I want to really clarify something because someone's pulled up a stink here in chat. Guys, $400 for a chair is actually pretty much the average if you're looking at anything better than like a stool. I've been through many chairs myself. This one's lasted me a long time. So I'm not trying to like overly promote our sponsors here or anything, but just in fairness before people get upset, $400 is pretty much the standard for a decent chair, and quite frankly on the cheap end, considering some high-end office chairs that I was looking at Staples at least, we're going as high as like 600, 700. So again, maybe it's not your flavor, maybe you don't want a chair, that's perfectly fine, but just know that if you live in Canada, combination no shipping, huge warranty, and like the nice pillows that you get with it, DX Racers coming from chairsforgaming.com are probably your best bets if you're a gamer. At any rate, welcome to the Winners Bracket Finals for the Starbow Ladder Cup Season 2. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the first qualifier. I'm Rifkin, joined today by Zephius. And spawning here in the top left corner of the map, he's green, he's Zerg, it is Franscar.
And spawning in the bottom right corner, just coming off a victory versus RSVP, which is no small feat, and his name is Buckfast. He's gonna play Protoss now, so it's gonna be interesting to see. He was off racing and winning versus RSVP, which is crazy. And Franscar is not gonna be off racing, so well, they're both not off racing.
Cannons.
I see. No, I don't think.
Well, some irony, because of course he was the one getting cannoned earlier, but at least goes for the pylon block, bare minimum.
Yeah, no, he's just gonna go for a Forge Fast expand. I don't think it's gonna be cannons. He doesn't send out a second probe or anything. I just have a question though. You used a very interesting phrase. You see, you've been through a lot of chairs. Now, what does that mean?
It means that
it sounds like you've been falling through many chairs in your life.
No, okay, so like the first chair, okay, this is gonna sound so dumb. This is like cool story mode because there's not a lot going on. The first chair I ever had was like one of those white plastic lawn chairs, you know, like not the ones you lie down on, but like the ones you would sit on.
Oh, for your computer?
Yeah, so I was using that for a while.
That's horrible.
No, shut the fuck up. It was so comfy and I loved it, but because it was made of plastic, it broke pretty easily, right? So after that, I went and I bought like a $100 chair from like Staples. It was like a, you know, just like your standard fucking chair, right?
Yeah.
But because I like to lean back a lot when I play games, it broke pretty quick, so that one was pretty useless. The one I had before my DX Racer was actually a much nicer chair my brother got me for my birthday about 3 years ago. And it lasted me about 2.5 years, but the problem was, like, 1 year into it, the right arm panel kind of, like, not broke, but like because I leaned to my side, it was starting to bend and eventually broke off. And because the arm panels are part of the back support, you can no longer lean back on the chair. So I basically had a stool for like 2 years of casting or playing StarCraft and stuff. So this DX Racer though is fucking sturdy, dude. Like I've been leaning on it, I've been leaning back on it. Like I don't know, I've had it for about, I'd say almost a year at this point, like close to a year, and I've had no problems.
You know, I would be very sad if you didn't like it when you're comparing it to that plastic lawn thing and a stool. So yeah, this should definitely be an improvement. By the way,
well,
if you
like the last one, no, hang on, like the last one I had before it like broke was like this really nice. It was like a $300 chair. It was like leather. It had these like wooden armrests. It was so comfy until it broke.
I wasn't trying to go down your sponsor or anything. I was just interesting, like the chairs you've been through, and now I can understand that saying, the chairs you've been through. And by the way, I don't know if you were following the Zerglings chasing that probe, but you could really see the backswing thing I was talking about. They were like, 4 Zerglings took like forever to kill that probe because every time a Zergling attacked, it just stopped. And also we had the pathing going on, like the Zerglings were going a little bit right and left because they were in a group. So like, that probe just didn't die. You could just scout forever almost.
Well, Buckfast guys, we did see him play a really strong Zerg game earlier, a really strong Zerg series earlier, but Franscar stated before, like he was the Ladder Cup champion from last season. This is a guy with a bit of prominence to him. There is a loser's bracket still to fall into, but the way this is pretty much going to work, guys, it's a best of 3 like grand finals, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, best of 3 grand finals.
But all the losers matches leading to it are like best of 1s, so it's gonna be a pretty quick trek back if they get knocked out here. But we're getting pretty close to the end of the cup, guys. There's been some good games so far. We got a couple good ones ahead of us still, but we'll see how this one pans out. I mean, like my heart says Franscar just because I've seen him play so much, but Buckfast really kind of out of nowhere surprised me. And to talk a little more on that too, you'll see a lot of players, they can dual race, they can off race in Starbow, because everyone hates mirror matchups. Like, let's be honest, even in StarCraft people hate mirror matchups. So you see a lot of the guys practice their off race. They don't just go Protoss because YOLO like Scarlet at MLG, but because they've actually got some plans to go with it.
Definitely. Sorry, I was just updating more tournament stuff. But yeah, it seems like the losers bracket is all going on now as we're doing this. So that's great, because this is a best of 3. So by the time this is done, we might be. Oh no, we're gonna still have to do some losers bracket maps, because the loser of this map will go to a losers.
Yeah. So we'll cover a couple.
I can't talk. I'll just leave the talking to you.
Well, I wish you wouldn't, because I'm freaking dying over here, man.
I guess not. So Franscar going for quick lurkers again.
Oh, I've been sorry. My
that's
headset
okay.
might get muted. I've been talking the whole time.
Oh, okay, no problem. So Franscar is going for fast lurkers versus Protoss, which is very interesting. We don't see that too much, actually. That's something I've been experimenting with a little bit lately, and it can be really strong if your opponent doesn't really prepare for it.
Well,
it's kind of like a oh, sorry, go ahead.
Well, it kind of makes sense though at the same time, because observers always come out so late in Starbow. You can't just build a robo facility, of course you got to build the observatory to go with it. Currently his opponent has neither, so outside of the cannon there's actually no way to detect the lurkers.
It's kind of like a mind game-ish thing though, because a lot of times lately the way to play ZVP has been go for Mutalisks off a 2 or 3 base, because it's so hard. You kind of pin the Protoss back in his base. He has to make Stalkers, he has to make Corsairs and do all these things, and he's kind of preemptively making Stalkers because he's anticipating that. But lo and behold, here are Lurkers, and Lurkers do very well both versus Zealots and Stalkers. So it's kind of a preemptive counter, and it's going to be very difficult for Buckfast to deal with. So I like this. It's kind of like a metagame evolving here, because you'd never see this normally go for this quick lurkers versus Protoss before. But very smartly though, Buckfast is splitting up his units, making sure he can do some damage here and there, and Franscar has to make a lot of Zerglings to deal with this, because his lurkers can't be everywhere at once, and he's even finding a nice spot, at least for that Stalker, to try and do some damage to that hatchery, although the Zealots are dying pretty hard.
He's just gonna walk. Should have never died.
Yeah. Okay, he's gonna walk by those lurkers, but you never really know how many lurkers you're walking by, so it's kind of a risky move, and yeah, the Zealot's gonna pay for it. So it was kind of a weird engagement. Buckfast got a lot of workers killed, but he did lose a lot of units, but he's gonna try and get a 3rd base up in the meantime. It's gonna be very hard to hold. But I like this, is chasing away the Overseer and making Dark Templars at the same time. He really wanted to kill that Overseer, but Stalkers doesn't kill armored units like ever.
Well, you say that, I remember you were talking those big games like, oh, Blink Stalkers take like 25 shots to kill a Dragoon, but still Blink Stalkers are kind of king of PvP for a little while, so it's...
They were.
I think it's a lot less about the unit and more about how they get used.
Definitely, and that's the thing about, you know, Vultures too. Sure, Vultures can take like tons of shots to kill like an armored unit, but if, like, Vultures versus Ultralisks, like, Ultralisks should win, but Vultures are just so mobile that they just kill him eventually if they microed correctly, right? So... even though they only do like 5 damage each shot versus Ultralisk that has like so much armor and HP. So we're gonna have a contain now from Franscar, and this is gonna be, well, it's gonna be somewhat easy to break, but if he actually, there's several ways to get around this, but one thing he actually could do is just continue to make Stalkers and just blink out of his main and just go and harass, but ooh, he's gonna try and sneak in a DT, but it's gonna be unsuccessful, yes, unfortunately. Nice Overseer placements here from Franscar.
This is the slowest kill ever. Lurkers don't kill very fast.
They don't. They just contain. See, that's the thing about Starbow though in general, is that we have so many opportunities for comebacks. So a lot of games where you're like, oh, this guy's dead, it just is really hard to kill him. That's because we want to give him an opportunity to come back. But that makes some of the games a little bit drawn out, where you see a player's already won, but he's just not. He can't really complete because of the defender's advantage. But that also opens the window for comeback, but of course, comebacks are more rare than the leading player winning, of course.
Okay, so I like the way he spread this. The idea is that, like, if the Zealots attack one of the front lurkers, all the back ones will focus on it, but, you know, I kind of feel like there's an opportunity where if you just dive forward with a couple more of these lurkers, reposition, like, that one that's low to the back, and vice versa, this would be a little bit different. But I like the Scourge coming out here, of course, looking for strictly observers, but there's really not, like, one.
There is one, and if you can find it, it's going to be very important. But there is Storm Research now. There are High Templars, and that's another good reason for spreading out those lurkers. And that's going to help Buckfast quite a bit to deal with this. But in the meantime, Franscar is using this map control to take so many areas.
Yeah, I mean, he's really abusing the fact that he's just got, what, as you described, control of the map.
Some very nice high Templar placements there, though, and if they can really land some good storms from off the high ground there.
He's looking for that observer. He knows it's nearby.
Oh, he's gonna. Oh, he should have sent in 2 instead of 1, but he couldn't see it anymore. I think lurkers are actually don't have the miss chance for high ground actually.
Interesting. I didn't know that. I guess because their attacks are technically melee, right?
Yeah. I don't know.
A ranged melee attack. I mean, because that's the case, right? It's not a projectile.
Yeah. It's the same as Reavers. Reavers also don't have the high ground miss because the shot kind of walks up the ramp, and it's kind of the same with lurkers, I suppose. It was the same in Bird War as well. That's the main reason we just have it here. And for now, we're just basing it off Bird War stats, and we're only changing it if we feel it has some benefit to the game.
Well, Zerglings are trying to be that buff if necessary. A lot of these lurkers are pretty low, but one of the big things for Buckfast is, you know, with the storms.
The observer is so far. Okay, there we go. Man, he could have sniped that observer. That was so close out to the edge. He needs to get more observers. He only has. Okay, he has 2 observers now. Where's the other one? But here we go. He's gonna try and go in with a.
Yeah, they dive right through. The Archon's trying to be made right now, but there's no way that's going to finish up in time to really do anything right now. So the Ling's back on out of there. 2 cannons, by the way. I can't believe those are still alive. Chrono boosted like crazy to get the extra shots out, but a small counterattack finds its way to the northern part of the map.
How the heck did he get the Zealots out there?
I don't know. It's got to be a Warp Prism or something. I didn't really catch.
Yeah, there's the Warp Prism there. Oh, he's going to try and expand too with the Warp Prism, getting a probe out actually. But in the meantime, wow! Franscar is actually making spine crawlers there. I was thinking at a hatchery first, but of course he's just spreading creep with his overlords.
I say why the hell not though. I mean, he's had such a solid contain up to this point.
Oh, he's gonna get another observer. No, he's not. Always the anti-hype with observers. Sorry about that.
It's like the one time it matters versus not, right? The expansion, as you point out, is going down here, the top or the middle right side. The Overlord has got vision of it, so yeah, we see some Hydras segmenting off.
The Overlord is kind of overseeing that area. Okay. Very nice storm. They're catching 3 lurkers that are not even burrowed, and those
spines are wrecking dragoons though. It's so funny to watch. I mean, this isn't even cheese, guys. This is just him capitalizing on a contain he already had full control over.
And he's not going to get this expansion up anytime soon. So this is going to be very hard for Buckfast to
deal with. That's like 7 cannons coming down. That's not going to do anything.
What he could do though, is he could actually, if he can sneak this probe out, he could research Warp Gate and start warping in units. Because there are Warp Gate in Starbow, it's just late tech, but he has the technology to do it now. But he did lose another observer, and he can't really pressure out versus this. Franscar really got him locked in good.
I'm looking at this, and I'm just like, why are we not seeing Reavers be made? Like, why are we not having units with, like, huge range counter this?
Yeah, I kind of get a sense that a lot of times Protosses are very inexperienced with dealing with contain play, and
or just like the tunnel vision, you know. I mean, this happens in regular StarCraft too, where as an observer you're like, oh, why isn't he making this clear counter? But really, it's not so clear to the player who's panicking against the lurkers at their front door.
And another thing, this is a very common situation from Brood War, and you're used to having to force your way out. But the fact that you now can make warp gates, and you can actually warp on units way out on the map if you get some pylons sneaked around, you don't even think about that in this situation because you used it from Brood War where you couldn't. That's one thing I would like to see more of, is warp gate technology to counter these kind of plays, because as long as he has enough
you guys made warp gate suck so much, dude. Like, what do you expect?
We actually buffed it in the latest patch.
Oh, what did
warp
it change
pins warp pins took like 12 or 15 seconds. Now that it's 8, and the cooldown is also a little bit shorter. So warp gate is a little bit better now because we did want to see more use of it. So, but it's still on the late game tech because it uses geometry so much.
Well, trying to break out of this. Sadly, the storms don't take out those lings. The idea behind the storms, guys, is that they will normally just clear a pack of lings like nobody's business. But Franscar too fast, always dodging out of the top right corner of the map. Doesn't get up either. Still trying to sneak around with that probe. Sadly, not going to happen.
Oh, he's gonna. Franscar sees this base going up again, but he's not really noticing it.
Dude, I just like make Reavers, please. God damn it! Like, he's got the robo facility. He's like 1 building away from making them.
No, he's got the robo bay too, actually.
Does he actually have the bay?
Main base.
Yeah, he does.
In his main base.
Son of a bitch! Make Reavers, god damn it! Sorry. I mean, they're so good versus Hydras in the first place. It's how we see people break contains. Like, because last season, especially towards the end of the ladder cut for Season 1, we saw a lot of those things coming out of Red Bandit, where he'd do, like, the proxy hatchery into this similar-looking contain. And Reavers were, like, the best way to break out of it. It's just, in the past, I mean, this isn't cheese, this is a different variation of it, but it's the same sort of equation, the same variables.
You see, you know, once Franscar gets to Hive Tech, and once he gets some Defilers out with Dark Swarm, this is pretty much GG.
Yeah.
This is how I'd like to see the finals. Oh, Buckfast is contemplating his own situation here. It's a good thing you can take it with a grain.
Reavers, finally! Oh my god.
Oh, okay. Oh, I thought you were complaining again, but he's actually making them. There we go.
Yeah.
And he's gonna try. Why is he trying to break up before the Reavers? Use
Templar,
the storm!
the storms are kind of wasted. Actually, they do clear up a lot of this links towards the end, so that ends up being a little bit worthwhile. But guys, for those who don't know how Reavers work, if you're new to Starbow, maybe you didn't watch a lot of Brood War, a big thing what these do is, like, they've got explosive damage, they've got splash damage, they've got range is the biggest thing, but they're slow as fuck is the one downside.
They're so slow.
Yeah.
They're slow and stupid.
Yeah, but I mean, it's their range that's going to allow him to break out of this. Now, he lost the Observer, I think, earlier. If he hadn't, maybe it's a little bit different, because he can't see those lurkers, sadly.
No, but he can see the spikes in the storm systems, so that's good. He actually has got so much storm now that he might not even need the Reaver anymore. And that poor Spinecrawler, oh, just saved by some poop. You don't usually save things by poop, but in Zerg you can do that.
That splash might kill the lurkers. Yeah.
It will. Oh, unfortunately, it killed it in one shot, so it doesn't kill the other lurker.
The thing is that, like, these Reavers aren't even going to be bad going forward. There's been so many Lings, so many Hydras, so many of these units that clump up that you need splash damage against. But with the Ultralisk finally coming out, as you said, like, the Hive Tech is what's going to finally, I think, put the nail in Buckfast's coffin.
It's kind of strange though that Franscar hasn't expanded more than he has, to be honest. But he doesn't really need to. He's gonna try and pick up the. No, he's not gonna get the Reaver. No way. Doesn't even get that much of the Reaver, but he really needs to get the Observers out again to start picking off these lurkers. Oh, what is he doing with the Reaver? Get back.
Yeah, well, now the Observer's out. Now the Observer's out.
Does he have the upgrade for damage? No, he doesn't have the damage upgrade for the Reaver. We actually changed that too, because Reavers do 80 damage base, but now the upgrade gives them 40 extra, so now it's 120 once they're upgraded. So that's quite important, actually.
Well, I think more important than the damage. I mean, it's straight up the range is what it comes down to. I mean, look at that shot go off, guys. I mean, this is why he needed Reavers so much sooner. I understand the thought process of trying to break out with the Goons, going for the Storms, and those were great, don't get me wrong, but Reavers are just better, bottom line. The downside is it does cost money every time they want to shoot something.
Pull back! You need to save the Reavers. Oh, wow, he didn't go for the Reaver kill there.
You know what? He's out of money. That's it. His natural's officially mined out.
It's true. He needs to make this work now. He needs to kill Franscar.
Well, no,
There's no way.
This is over. He can't build another Nexus. He can't continue mining. He can't push out. Franscar, I think, has won this game.
Yeah, like, unless there's some miracle happening here where he can just kill everything with this tiny group of units.
The only thing that could push across the map to kill would be a Reaver, and the Reaver moves so slow that it couldn't actually push across. Like, literally, Franscar. Okay, no, it doesn't matter. GG, finally called. Game number 1, gonna go to our Zerg player.